All right, rebilling. Let's go over some things, how to set it up, how to use it, what it looks like from the client perspective, and how everything works. So now if you go into your admin portal up here, you should see rebilling. And if you click on there, now you coming in here, you'll have to set up a Stripe connection, which will just create a marketplace account for you through our Stripe so that we can handle rebilling and things like that. So you won't see this immediately when you click on there. You'll have to connect to Stripe, and if it requests more documentation, we have that whole onboarding process pretty much automated for you. So you just go through that and you're good to go. Once you have your connection to Stripe, you'll get a dashboard like this right here. All right, you'll get dashboard, product catalog, and payments. Very familiar with the UX UI, so that it's very familiar to you if you use Stripe. So kind of going over everything in a little bit more detail, maybe a longer video, but just to make sure we go over everything in depth. So your dashboard here, you'll be able to see your MRR that you generate with the actual subscriptions itself, your gross volume of the transactions. This will be between the subscriptions and voice minute rebilling, and then your plan net, which will show you the price that you pay alongside the volume that you're doing, so that you see net positive from rebilling. And you'll get just a chart here of the volume and all the transactions that you're doing. Okay, so super easy here. If you need to access your Stripe account, your marketplace account, you can just do so right there. In case you need to edit anything, the name, logo, whatever, direct Stripe access right there. Now, you can turn on rebilling just with this nice easy button. You click turn on, rebilling's active, and now even though you may not have anything in your sub accounts right now, rebilling is active. So for example, I already have a subscription on mine, which is fine. So if you have rebilling on, nothing's going to happen here in the beginning. That's how it's supposed to be, right? But I could go here to product catalog and I can create different types of products, either a subscription or voice minute rebilling, and those will populate inside of my client portal here. So for example, if I didn't have any of these on, maybe I turned off all my plans and I didn't have rebilling on, I think because I have an admin account, normally it would look like this, right? There wouldn't be a button here. It would just be the metrics that we're seeing. But if I turn rebilling on and I have a couple plans active, for example, I have my test voice rebilling here and my test subscriptions here, you'll notice a couple things. So you'll notice the voice minute pop up here where they'll be able to click and buy voice minutes directly. This will be drop service, so you don't have to buy the voice in bulk first. You can just kind of give this out and let clients do it themselves, and it'll auto-populate in their account for them. And then the difference between the cost of voice and what you mark it up for will just be deposited into your Stripe Marketplace account and then paid out on the first of the month, completely handled through Stripe. I don't like touching money, so I let Stripe do all that fun stuff. And you also notice, for those who have a plan, they'll be able to see their plan here. The name of the plan, how much it costs, active, gross volume, and this is just the same thing that you're seeing here as far as payments. But for the client here, they'll be able to see all of their transactions, and they'll be able to see and manage their plan, which takes them to Stripe. All right, without jumping around too much because I know I'm doing it. So if I want to create something to rebill voice minutes or put voice minutes inside my client account, I don't want to buy them in bulk, I can go to Add Product and click on Voice Minutes. And I'll get this manage plan thing. This is where I'm able to build plans, configure plans to show up in my client portal. And so just how you would on any other subscription service or in your high level, I can come up with a plan name here. I could say, a voice plan for businesses looking to scale. And I could go, let's do 21 cents a minute. And just for reference, for those who don't know, about 21 cents per minute is competitive to end clients, local businesses, SMEs. I think Air charges 35 cents a minute for their basic. And then if you use like a Flow Builder type one in Air, I think it comes out to be 85 cents a minute. So very, very competitive at the 20 to 30 cent per minute if you're rebilling that way, or if you just want to bill it at cost, you don't want to mark it up, you just want them to pay for their own stuff, you can just put it in at 15 cents there. All right. And then we say, with this price per minute, we want to include this many minutes. Maybe we do 50. Maybe we have different plans that are tiered up, based on price. But for this one, I'll just let's say 1,000 minutes. And I'll update that plan. And now we see we have the growth plan here, which is for voice. The total price is $210, and that's because of the 21 cents per minute at 1,000 minutes. And so that's not in my admin dashboard yet. That's not here. And all I have to do is just turn it on, and you'll notice it'll populate here. 210 for the refill. Everything I just put there, get 1,000 minutes at 21 cents per minute for the growth plan. So anything that you build here, you're able to configure it. So if I take those out, that's my growth plan. However you want to configure it, this is how it will show up in the client portal there, right? And the same thing with subscriptions. So I'll turn those back on. If you want to use AI as an upsell, right? Or maybe you're giving high-level away for free, or you're selling it for very cheap and you want to make money on the back end, you can actually manage subscription plans, which give you access. You set a monthly price, you give them the messages that are included in their plan, and then the assistants that are included in their plan. So let's say 5. And you can even set trial days if you want to, 7-day trial, 14-day trial. I'll offer this one. We'll do 7-day trial. This will be the same thing, growth plan. And so this will be our general plan there. All right. So now what I'll do, because I already have a subscription on mine, before we go in there and I show you that portion, just know you can create the different ones here. You can archive them. You can see which ones are active, inactive, archived, bring them back, and then all of them here. And then in the same way how you have Stripe where you can create products and you have your dashboard, you can also see your payments here. This is the volume from the subscription payments, from the voice rebilling. Anything that's going on as far as billing the end user will show up here. So you'll get the amount, the customer, the sub account associated, the date, refunded yes or no, and you'll be able to see metadata about the transaction there. And you'll be able to manage payments, refunds, whatever you need to do through this portal here. So that's the main things right there. And if I go into a sub account, let's see, let's go into one I don't have attached. So go into my sub accounts. Let me see if I just have one laying around. Maybe this one. I don't know if I have this one connected. Okay. So I don't have the sub account connected. It's a new sub account. So I'm going to connect to OAuth. What I'm going to do is make sure my rebilling is on. So you have on here, by the way. You have these are on, and then you have rebilling on here. And what this is doing is just saying, I want these to show or not, and then this is actually turning rebilling on for the account itself. And then if I go into the sub account here, what they'll do is if I have a subscription itself enabled, or I have those those subscriptions enabled, when they come in here to their sub account, they'll have to create an account. Which, all this is going to do is, even though they already have an account created, or potentially they're already logged in, this is just setting them up with a customer ID inside of Stripe. So they put in their basic info here, which we used to also populate the contact. They save that, and they'll be able to pick the plan. So I guess I'll just do an example here. All right, and so this will populate this location with that specific customer ID, and then they'll get the plans here. So these are the plans I configured right here, the 97, the $5 one, the trial days. If I remove the trial from this one, you'll see the verbiage change, start trial versus get started. And then this one also shows if it has a trial or not, plus the MRR there associated with those plans. And this is white label, by the way. This is because the agency is called Assistable.ai. But all they do is, just with anything there, they click on the trial. The same thing with the voice credits. They click on that. They'll be taken to a Stripe page. They go here. They put in their card information, and then they start their trial, or they start, with the voice minutes, they pay for their voice minutes, and they'll be brought back to where they were before, which would be here, right? And then their account would be populated based on whichever plan you have active. So for this one, I didn't, pay for my subscription to get access to, to AI itself, the portal itself. So I don't get access. But if I were to turn those plans off, maybe I just wanted to rebill for voice, right? And I go back, then I get access here, and I can do everything that I normally would, but I can still buy my voice minutes here to populate this. And the same thing, they just go here. What it's going to do is create all the fun stuff in Stripe. they'll go here, they'll pay with card, or they'll be brought back and then credited those minutes that they paid for. And then you will see that transaction in your payments, and you'll also see the net difference. So if you're, upselling, or adding a margin on top of that, that difference will be credited to your Stripe account and paid out to you. So it's almost like a drop service for voice. And the same thing for subscription. You can just use it as an upsell, however you want there. You can manage the plans here. You can change the aspects of them, right? I can archive them, so I can archive this plan. It won't be shown here. I can show, take away, whatever I want here. I can make as many as I want. I can configure them however I want. And then by turning rebilling on and turning these on, showing them, then they will automatically populate here for voice minutes, and they'll automatically populate, like I said, if I have these subscriptions here, like I require a subscription to sign, to access the AI portal. If I click here, then they will not be able to access the actual AI portal itself until they set up an account, and then they pick a plan and pay for it. Once they pay for it, they'll be brought back and it'll be populated. But that is pretty much rebilling. You'll be seeing this. So this is for internal. This is for your agency clients inside of your GoHighLevel. We'll also have one for those who are in the reseller program. You'll have that for outside users as well, and pretty much the same configuration, but you'll be able to manage sub accounts, things like that. So the same infrastructure for those who are on the reseller program or external deployment program. You'll get something very, very similar to this inside there. So that's all for rebilling here. Is you'll see this. You have your dashboard where you'll be able to see some metrics, MRR, gross volume, plan net, and then be able to see this here. I can turn it on or off, and so this is globally turning rebilling on or off, right? And I have my product catalog where I can create a subscription for someone to access the AI portal itself. So just like how we bill, you have your main subscription, which is for chat, plus plus access to the platform, and then you have your voice minutes as an upsell. It's the same exact thing here. You're able to transfer those costs onto the clients, and also mark them up yourself to be able to increase your MRR, your customer lifetime value, and even gross profit on those, and be able to manage it in what I think, in my humble opinion, a pretty nice way, right? I had a lot of fun with this, and they'll be able to manage their stuff in the actual admin portal here, the client portal, where they'll be able to, like I said, in the settings here, they'll go to billing, and they'll be able to manage, go here. They'll be able to manage all their stuff here. They'll be able to see all the transactions that they've made. They'll be able to see their plans, manage their plans. If I do this, it just takes me to Stripe, and everything associated with that. And so there's full transparency. I have torture tested this. I even got some users on to help me with it this morning to make sure, everything's working as it should. All tests have been successful thus far, but my only worry is GoHighLevel iframes. I don't see it being a problem, but just in case it is, I've left enough of a paper trail where if I need to step in and credit somebody's account, or have you be able to do it yourself, all those settings are in there. So very good start to rebilling. Of course, we're going to make it as robust as possible, throughout the usage of it. So I hope this is really good for those who want to, transfer that cost of voice onto their clients, make an additional, MRR revenue stream through that. And then also those who are using AI as an upsell, maybe you're using GoHighLevel as a low ticket offer, and then you want to, sell the AI on the back end. That's all in there for you. And again, those in the reseller external deployment program, you'll get something very, very similar to this for your external deployments as well. So, I think I went through it a pretty good way. There's always going to be nuance, the metadata with the transactions, and of course, building this stuff out. If you have any questions, drop them in the school, drop them here, and I'll make help articles, and also be able to, with the initial feedback of this launch, be able to make it better. So I hope that's helpful. I hope everybody has an amazing Monday. I have a ton of updates coming out today, so you'll see a lot more videos from me later. So have a nice Monday.